has done is he's cherry-picked one study in a leading medical journal, JAMA Network Open, and said that that is proof positive that quote-unquote fluoride's on the way out. What did that study show? It showed a non-statistically significant finding that pregnant women exposed to fluoride might give birth to young boys that have lower IQ. Not statistically significant finding. There's some other data points that may point to that in other parts of the world. Again, not strong evidence. So if he came out, Jonathan, and said, we need to learn more, we need to better understand this potential association, but on balance, there's significant evidence that fluoride prevents tooth decay, prevents school absenteeism. That's why the American Dental Association, the American Pediatric organizations are all in favor of it, despite looking at the same evidence, Jonathan. If you were to say something mellow and sober like that, then we'd all say, okay, more evidence is better. He's not saying that. He's cherry-picking evidence and now claiming that fluoride's quote-unquote on the way out. It doesn't make sense. If that data existed, we'd all say the same thing. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's what he does. He cherry picks studies and says, I'm just asking questions, but now he's got the power to elevate that skepticism. NBC News medical contributor, Dr. Vin Gupta, always great to have your expertise. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. President-elect Donald Trump is no longer under federal indictment this morning after the 2020 election interference case against him was dismissed. NBC News senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett has more on yesterday's move by the Justice Department.
In a striking move, the Justice Department abandoning the federal criminal charges that had loomed over now President-elect Trump in Washington and Florida for more than a year. Special counsel Jack Smith saying his decision does not turn on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's proof, or the merits of the prosecution. But the DOJ has a long-standing policy against prosecuting a sitting president. And the department believes the Constitution requires dismissing the cases before the defendant is inaugurated. The judge in Washington signing off on that. The move by Smith, while expected, a notable defeat after launching a pair of historic cases, a first of their kind against a former president.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
The Trump team calling the dismissals a major victory for the rule of law, as the president-elect had made his criminal exposure a centerpiece of his campaign.
I'm being indicted for you. Don't worry about these fake indictments. It's actually driven our poll numbers way up.
Mr. Trump often railing against Smith.
I would fire him within 2 seconds.
Smith expected to step down on his own soon, his cases never getting close to trial, stymied in appeals. In Washington, the Supreme Court finding Mr. Trump immune for some of his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. While in Florida, a federal judge found Smith was wrongly appointed, dismissing the accusations Mr. Trump unlawfully ordered associates to keep classified documents at Mar-a-Lago after he left office.
NBC's Laura Jarrett reporting there. For more on this story, let's bring in NBC News and MSNBC political analyst, former U.S. Senator and prosecutor Claire McCaskill, and senior political correspondent for The Guardian, Hugo Lowell. He's out with new reporting this morning titled "Trump Officials to Receive Immediate Clearances and Easier FBI Vetting." We'll get to that story in just a moment. Claire, let me start with you on the cases, both the classified documents case and the election interference case being dismissed by special counsel Jack Smith after years of building that case. What's your reaction to that news?
Well, it's sad. You know, haven't all of us gone from depressed to sad to angry and back again over the last several weeks? This is kind of the whipped cream and cherry on top. But as Vaughn said in your earlier segment, people voted here, and they were fully aware of what Donald Trump had done and the serious allegations against him. And the American people decided to dismiss that, and with that comes the dismissal of this case. I don't think anybody should be surprised. Obviously, I don't think Jack Smith had much choice considering what the realities are on the ground.
So, Hugo, let's talk about this. This is something that so many people for years had real expectations. A lot of Democrats, a lot of legal experts thought that these two cases, both had merit. both deserve to be investigated and charged, and we thought we would see a trial, potentially a real public spectacle. None of that came to be, and in fact, it goes away yesterday with a whimper. Talk to us about how that news is being received in Trump world, exultant to be sure, but how it might fuel what comes next.
Look, they were universally thrilled yesterday. I'm told actually that Trump picked up the phone and called Boris Epshteyn, his in-house legal counsel, immediately when he heard the news, and he was thanking Boris and saying what a wonderful job he'd done, and that basically carried the day, because there were a whole slew of other negative headlines that emerged yesterday, including about Boris's own antics inside Trump world. But like that is the thing that carried the day. Like, they were thrilled at the result, and now it's time for them to look forward, and they think, okay, now that we've got that in the rearview mirror, we can push ahead with our investigation of the investigators, the favorite thing that Trump world likes to do. You know, we're already hearing talk about how there are specific prosecutors they want to go after, people like Jay Bratt on the classified documents case, people like Julie Edelstein, the number 2 on that case. And they have really planned this out in a way that I don't think people quite appreciate sometimes. They have spent so much time interfacing with these prosecutors, they know exactly who they want to go after. And if you think about people like Todd Blanche, who is the nominee for the Deputy Attorney General position, and Emil Beauvais as the principal deputy, they have been interfacing with Jack Smith's team for about 2 years now, and now they're running the department, and they're already planning about how to go after the people that they had to deal with.
Yeah, there were quite a few negative stories about Boris I've seen yesterday. Let's turn to your new reporting about the Trump transition team and how they're conducting background checks, because there's been real questions raised, including by some Republicans, about whether they're skirting the process by not using the FBI. What's the latest?
Yeah, so our reporting on this is that they will do FBI background checks, but once they take over, once they've installed their key positions, into key positions, you know, loyalists like Kash Patel. And the idea is, on day one, Trump will say, I'm president, and I'm going to grant sweeping security clearances to my entire staff and political appointees, and we'll do the background checks on the back end, so to speak. And, you know, the Trump team will say this is because we have this deep distrust of the FBI. You know, during the 2016 transition, they shared all of our records with the then special counsel Robert Mueller in the Russia investigation, and we just don't trust these guys. But there are ancillary PR benefits here, right? If they were doing background checks now, and some of these more problematic nominees were getting tripped up and they were struggling to complete their background checks, that could be a problem during Senate confirmation. If it drags on into the administration, you get the repeat of what happened in 2017 when you have people like Jared Kushner, people like Rob Porter, who couldn't complete their background investigations and get the necessary security clearances to do their jobs. They want to avoid that as well. And so there are these ancillary benefits that they gain from pushing all of this into when the admin takes shape. Not only because there's also the instance of people like Kash Patel maybe pulling punches. If they're running the FBI, do they want to have particularly invasive background checks? Will they be as rigorous? Potentially not.
Claire, you've been through these Senate confirmations. You've been through these hearings. There's an assumption when a choice sits down in front of you. You may not like them. You may not want to vote for them. You may disagree with their views or their qualifications, but there's an assumption at least they've been through a basic FBI background check. We've already seen what's happened to someone like Matt Gaetz, what's happened to someone like Pete Hegseth. We'll see what his fate ends up being, but they're just doing their own background checks inside the transition team and putting people up on screens for Donald Trump to look at and then making choices based on that. What are the implications of them just being thrown out there?
Well, there's going to be a lot of Senate staffers that are going to be abandoning projects they've been working on and trying to do a much deeper dive into potential nominees that are coming before the Senate. But I think really what's going on here is, especially when he pulled Gaetz, is a recognition that there are some Republican senators that are not going to lay down on really outrageous nominees that have to be confirmed. So what Trump is going to do is he's going to try to put in people that are really offensive into non-confirmable positions. And as was just outlined, he's going to, ignore the necessity for checking into their backgrounds. And that's when journalists are going to have to kick in. And, Willie, we have some amazing journalists at MSNBC and NBC that are out there every day trying to find the truth of what's going on. There's a lot of networks that have good journalists that are working seriously to uncover the facts. I would tell everybody to pay attention to journalism over the next 4 years. Don't abandon it. Don't decide I'm going to turn everything off, but rather support those outlets where you see good investigative reporting going on. And there's a number of not-for-profits out there that do great work. ProPublica is a great example. They've done some amazing investigative work. The Guardian has done some good investigative work. So support those institutions that have people that are actually digging for the facts, because that's how the American people are going to know about some of these outrageous people that are going to populate the Trump administration.
Yeah, journalism arguably more important than ever right now with some of the guardrails that have fallen away. It's even more so than they did Donald Trump's first term. Stay with us, Claire, please. Senior political correspondent for The Guardian, Hugo Lowell, thank you very much for your reporting. We'll be reading it in The Guardian. Let's bring in now Democratic Congressman of New York, Gregory Meeks. He's a ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you for your time this morning. Let's pick up that conversation. Someone who understands Washington so well, who's been there for a minute, and sees the normal process by which people are nominated, by which they are vetted, the type of people, the qualifications typically required to be elevated to some of the positions that Donald Trump has made his choices for. What do you make of this round of cabinet picks from Donald Trump so far?
It is an absolute failure and danger to our national security and our interests. Look, just basically, I represent an airport, JFK Airport in New York. You can't get a job at the airport without a background check. And to try to get individuals in who will have our most important information, our national security interests, our national security data, and they don't go through a background check is a danger to the United States of America. And why? Because when you look at, especially as rapid as this president has been putting these individuals in, he clearly has not done any background check or vetting of any of them. Why? Because, or even looking at a resume. All he does is to see if, in fact, they will be loyal to who? Not the United States of America, but to Donald J. Trump. And, you know, and I hear a lot of my Republican colleagues say, oh, he was there before, and so therefore he knows what he wants. Well, I agree with that. He knows he does not want anyone that is pledged to the United States of America because, like before, when he had General Mattis or General Kelly, and even, you know, you look at anybody that was around him previously that covered national defense issues and international issues, none of them supported him in this election. There's a reason for that. In fact, all of them said that he should not be near the White House again. And so he wants to appoint people now, and he's putting people in whose one thing and the only thing that he cares about is pledge allegiance to Donald J. Trump and do what I tell you to do, not to the United States of America.
So, Congressman, let's dive into some of these picks. You just raised concerns about some of the national security team the president-elect has nominated, of Tulsi Gabbard, for instance. Pete Hegseth have gotten real scrutiny from some of your colleagues. But there's another piece of this, too. We know that during the campaign, Donald Trump did his very best to distance himself from Project 2025, that conservative blueprint, that plan for action were he to win. But now that he has one, he seems to be re-embracing it, including the architect of Project 2025 to head his budget office.
Why does that surprise us? You know, we said all along that that's what he's going to do, and we're going to be having to deal with Project 2025 for 4 years because that's who he is. All of the individuals who put that project together were individuals that worked with Trump in the past, and now their plan is to implement it. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Look, Donald Trump won this election for one reason. It's the economy. You know, and we did not come strong enough for people to feel that we understood their problems, the cost of groceries. You know, I felt it. And I just thought about my father, for example, when I grew up in public housing. You know, when we had financial crises, he was worried about putting food on the table. Everything else was not being considered. There was one thing in his mind. How was he going to feed his family? We did not get that message over that to our people that we feel the problems that they have. You look at any poll, national security was at the bottom of the list. You know, and, you know, sometimes because that's who I do, and as far as the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I talk about it, but I can see people glassing over when I talk about it. But that's what we're going to have to deal with now, the state of our country and our institutions. He is making a joke of the institutions of the United States of America. who we are, really, our guts of a country, what makes us different than most and all the democratic countries, is the institutions. And that's what he wants to destroy, the institutions. You know, we and the founding fathers, for a reason, said we don't want a king. We don't want a dictator. But what Donald Trump wants to do, just check it out, it's facts. He wants to emulate Vladimir Putin or Viktor Orban. These are individuals who, you know, or if you go against them, you know, some of them in Russia, they fall out of the window. So that is what we're dealing with here. And there's another reason. Let me tell you, J.D. Vance, he's the one that said that Trump was like, you know, our Hitler, etc. And I think the reason why he said that was Hitler was elected democratically. Democratically. So it's not Greg Meeks that said that. So they know what they did, what the deal is. And it's going to be up to the Republican senators and the Republicans in the House to stand up and not to be complicit with the moves and the actions of Donald J. Trump.
Congressman, looking at what's coming up quickly here, it looks like to me we've got a crash coming on funding the government. And obviously the defense reauthorization. Both of those have to be done before the end of the year. What's going on inside the rooms of Congress right now? What's going to happen here? Is there going to be a short-term CR? And how do you envision this spending stuff going with, you know, you got Russell Vought who says we're going to eliminate all kinds of government. Like Elon Musk says we're going to cut 75% of the employees. And then you got Donald Trump pledging that we're going to not tax anything. How is this all going to play out at the first of the year when they have to reconcile the deficits with what Trump wants to do with what some of the conservative Republicans want to do?
It's going to be, in a simple word, a disaster. We're headed for a disaster when you just look at all of those things. Right now, we can't get any top-line agreement. So, yes, we're probably going to be headed to a CR. They're trying to hold off, don't really want to negotiate, you know, on the House side with Hakeem Jeffries and Rosa DeLauro, who's head of our Appropriations Committee, because they want to try to wait till after January 20th, where they can go on to their disastrous, you know, look, they're putting in place when we start to talk about the average everyday person. It's a club of billionaires who look to reduce jobs so that they can make more money for themselves. And that's the direction of which this administration, this new administration that will come in, is moving forward. It's the same thing because we saw it before. You starve the people so that there is a greater amount of money for the wealthy. You look at the wealth disparity in America, it continues to grow, and it will grow even faster under the plans of Donald J. Trump. People have forgotten because of and in a large part, when you talk about the economy, was directly related to the pandemic. But people have forgotten the chaos and the mess that was Donald J. Trump's first administration. And it's going to be that on steroids coming into 2025, 2026.
Congressman Meeks, I want to go back to a point you were making a few minutes ago about the election. We're 3 weeks now removed from Election Day. There have been so many after-action reports, postmortems, analysis of what happened on Election Day. And you've been very outspoken about what you believe happened, because this was not just a story about white men supporting Donald Trump. It was across, as you know, even in your district in Queens, across race and gender. It was Black Americans, it was Asian Americans, it was Latino Americans who moved in the direction of Donald Trump. He got 30% of the vote in Queens. So he's in New York City, 37% of the vote in Queens. So what is your message to the party more broadly about the trends you're seeing, just even in your own district, that may tell us something about where the country moved on Election Day?
Again, you got to look behind the numbers. Those numbers clearly indicated two things. People elected Donald Trump for two reasons. The economy, because when they went to the store, they wasn't looking at the stock market or anything of that nature. When they went to the store, the price for food was more than they could afford. And so you saw people, you know, going with non-named milk and cheese and things of that nature. So that was a problem, and immigration, because in New York you had Governor Abbott of Texas, who continually sent migrants to New York unannounced, without anything. So that's what they saw. But if you look underneath those numbers, you'll see, thanks to Hakeem Jeffries and Governor Hochul, that we won seats in New York. We didn't lose seats in New York. We won 3 seats. We turned 3 congressional seats in New York. We won every Democratic seat, even below hand. So it wasn't a complete washout. In fact, when we go back to Washington, D.C., there will be more Democrats in the 219th Congress than there were in the 119th Congress than there was in the 118th Congress. So yes, we've got to make sure that we are taking care of our people so that they can understand that we are concerned and focused on their everyday life and their well-being. But I think that you could also see New York and California, where we had lost seats previously. We won those seats back. It's going to be a 1 or 2 vote difference in the House of Representatives when we get back. It changes things. So we've got to talk to the people where they are. And we need to do more of that starting now, not waiting to an election. That's important that we are going to talk to the people where they are and let them know that we feel them. As I said before, I think of my dad when he went to the polls, finally after he had the right to vote. He made those decisions based upon who helped him put food on the table, and we've got to make sure we're focused on that. I'll just say this also. If you look, because internationally, every leadership that was in place during the pandemic, whether it was conservative or whether it was progressive, lost, because all around the world, they were concerned about the cost of food and goods, and so therefore they were out. Who's the quickest to turn around? This doesn't make a difference to people, particularly in the campaign, but whose economy rebounded the quickest and the fastest? The United States of America, because this is still the greatest country this planet has ever seen, and we don't need to go back to old politics and old situations. You know, what concerns me, look, we're here now for the first time. It used to be we Democrats and Republicans came together. And I just was reading a quote of Richard Nixon, for example, that's now coming true. He says, if you're the president of the United States and you it's not a crime, no matter what you do, long as you're the president of the United States. And that's the message that is being sent right now, that if you're the president of the United States, as Donald Trump has said, he could walk down the street, shoot somebody, but if he's the president, he will not get indicted, etc. That's where we are now. So the focus will be, what will my Republican colleagues do? What will the senators do, Republican senators? What will the Republican members of the House do? Will they be complicit with the acts of Donald Trump, or will they hold him accountable for those things that he's doing and trying to destroy the institutions of the United States of America?
Not much track record of them holding him accountable. We'll see if they cross him on some of these choices he's made for cabinet picks. Ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Democratic Congressman Gregory Meeks of New York. Great conversation this morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Congressman. Thanks for being here.
Same to you.
Still ahead, with millions of Americans set to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday, our next guest is tackling rising airline fees. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut joins us next with more on that effort. Morning Joe's coming right back.
And Doug.
Whoa, we moved. We're in a parade. Everyone, customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Customize and save. And then I wake up.
And you have the stream every night?
Yeah, every night.
I see.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Asthma. Does it have you missing out on what you love with who you love? Get back to better breathing with Fasenra, an add-on treatment for eosinophilic asthma taken once every 8 weeks. Fasenra is not for sudden breathing problems. Serious allergic reactions may occur. Get help for swelling of your face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Don't stop your asthma treatments without talking with your doctor. Tell your doctor if your asthma worsens or you have a parasitic infection. Headache and sore throat may occur. Ask your doctor if Fasenra is right for you.
Dexcom G7 is one of the easiest ways to take better control of your diabetes. This small wearable replaces finger sticks, lowers A1C, and it's covered by Medicare.
Not managing your diabetes really affects your health. for the future. The older you get, the more complications you're going to see.
I knew I couldn't ignore my diabetes anymore because it was causing my eyesight to go bad.
For my patients, getting on Dexcom G7 is the biggest eye-opener they've ever had.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. This small wearable sends my glucose numbers right to my phone or my receiver. With just a glance, I can see if I'm going high, low, or steady, so I can make quick decisions in the moment.
Now I'm a superstar. My A1C is 5.7.
My A1C has never been lower.
No other CGM system is more affordable for Medicare patients than Dexcom G7. Don't wait. Call now and talk to a real person.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Connect with the provider today at ro.co/20.
Believe it or not, baby, you could earn your master's.
For under 11,000.
Master's degree for under 11K in less than a year.
Earn your competency-based master's at University of Phoenix.
Want a gentle way to relieve constipation? Try great-tasting Coles gummies. They work by increasing water in the stool, making it softer, so it's easier to go. With no harsh laxatives, cramping, or straining. Gentle constipation relief with great-tasting Coles gummies.
This is the carry-on closet, the suitcase with a one-of-a-kind closet system that keeps you organized anywhere. Pack all you need for up to 10 days and travel without ever unpacking. The comfort of home on the go. Unpack in seconds at Solgaard.co.
If you know luxury, it's not just award-winning, it's rewarding. Saatva Mattresses supports all types of sleepers. Luxury is handcrafted and assembled in American factories and brought directly to you with our complimentary in-home delivery and setup service. Which is why over 90% of customers would recommend Saatva to friends and family. Saatva, luxury mattresses made affordable.
The best feeling is when we take off our bras. It's not true. So you take off your bra, but then you feel the weight. What's the solution? Honeylove bras are the most comfortable bras I've ever worn. No underwire, so there's never any digging into your skin. There is some boning on the sides, which make it super comfortable and supportive. And one of my favorite parts, no back fat. Never. The back straps are so wide and so seamless. I could work out, I could run, I could dance, I could do anything. It's fun, it's beautiful, it's supportive.
Shop our sale now at honeylove.com.
Hi, I'm Jay Jackson. For almost 20 years, Abacus Life has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors. And in just seconds, you can use the free calculator at abacuspays.com to learn what your policy might be worth.
For many of my clients, selling their life insurance to Abacus was right for them and their estate plan.
Don't sell or lapse your policy without going to abacuspays.com first. There are no fees and no obligations. Get the real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus.
Live picture at 7:29 in the morning. Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The scaffolding is all but down. That big beauty will be lit up next Wednesday. A stormy forecast could disrupt plans for millions of Americans traveling for Thanksgiving. NBC News correspondent Adrian Broadus has the latest.
This morning, it's the perfect storm for holiday travel headaches. Two major weather systems dumping heavy snow and rain from the west coast to the plains to the east coast, just as record numbers of travelers hit the roads and skies for Thanksgiving. The TSA expecting more than 18 million passengers at airports this week, a 22% jump from 2 years ago.
Why did you choose to leave today?
We were trying to get ahead of all the holiday travel traffic.
In San Francisco, heavy winds delaying nearly a quarter of flights. And in Newark, a shortage of air traffic controllers already causing big delays. In Boston, more holdups with two separate airplane collisions within hours at one of the nation's busiest airports. Overnight, a Cape airplane carrying 5 people struck by an empty JetBlue aircraft being tugged by a tarmac vehicle at Boston's Logan Airport.
Confirmed wingtip collision.
Just hours earlier at the same airport, an American Airlines plane clipping the wingtip of a Frontier Airlines jet preparing to depart with 200 passengers on board. Some frustrated Frontier passengers facing waits of nearly 2 days for a new flight.
I have no accommodations of where I'm staying or any idea what's going on.
There's some good news for the 90% of Thanksgiving travelers driving this year. Gas prices have fallen to $3.06 a gallon, nationally down from $3.26 a year ago.
NBC's Adrian Broadus reporting there. Meanwhile, another factor hampering travelers, particularly those choosing to fly, rising costs. According to AAA, airline passengers are expected to pay 2% more this year and more than 10% more than 2019. The high price of flying has prompted senators to look into so-called junk fees that have cost customers at least $12 billion between 2018 and 2023. Joining us now, Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut. He's chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. Senator, good morning. Great to have you with us. Let's just start, because I'm not sure all consumers realize that they're paying these fees. What exactly is a junk fee?
You're absolutely right, Willie, that a lot of consumers don't know about these fees and, in fact, may not discover them until after they bought the ticket. They consist of what the airlines call ancillary charges, decisions about where you sit, whether you check a bag, whether you can carry a bag onto the plane, whether you can be next to your minor child. All of these kinds of junk fees are additional charges, some as high as $300 or more. And what we have found is, in this year-long investigation by the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigation, getting documents, interviews, and so forth, is that an increasing share of the airline's revenue comes from these fees, and also that they are now exploring and considering the use of technology, increased use of algorithms to target these fees at individuals based on their personal characteristics. In effect, moving toward the use of artificial intelligence to set fees based on an individual's zip code or other kinds of information.
So, Senator, I imagine so many people watching at home are nodding along angrily because they've had to pay these fees, which have undeniably risen. So now that you have these findings, what's next? Is there an enforcement mechanism here? Is this something that the airlines may voluntarily change, or is there something that you guys will have to legislate away?
We're going to have a hearing on December 4th. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to ask tough questions, and then we're going to make some recommendations. I have sponsored a measure called the Junk Fees Prevention Act, which would forestall these fees. There's also the Passenger Bill of Rights, which I have led. I'm not counting on legislation. I'm very clear-eyed about the chances of our Congress actually imposing some new laws. The Department of Transportation could use existing authority to do more, but again, under this new Trump administration, which is talking about eliminating regulation, I am going to be very clear-eyed there, too. So I think the airlines have to be pressured. And it will be difficult because there's been increased consolidation. In other words, fewer airlines. 4 of them now have 70% of the market share, and they march in lockstep often in imposing these kinds of abusive, excessive fees. I think we will have to put pressure on Congress, on the executive branch, and on the airlines themselves, and potentially through the courts seeking more competition, which the Department of Justice has begun doing through a public inquiry it's launched literally just a couple of weeks ago.
Good morning, my friend. Happy
Good morning,
Thanksgiving
Claire.
to you.
Thank you.
I think people don't really know what PSI is, and that's the committee that did this important investigation into junk fees. A long history of the PSI committee began under President Truman.
miracles.
The peace of mind I've been looking for.
Go to Ucora.com to learn more.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
For gentle, dependable constipation relief, try Senokot.
It works differently than other laxatives because it's made from the senna plant, a natural vegetable laxative ingredient.
Gentle, dependable Senokot. Also available in delicious gummies.
Doctors recommend Colay stool softener for gentle, dependable relief from constipation. It's so gentle, doctors even recommend it during pregnancy and after surgery. Colace increases water in the stool, making it softer so it's easier to go. No harsh laxatives, cramping, or straining. Colace.
Hi, I'm Damian Clark. I'm here to help you understand how to get the most from Medicare. If you're eligible for Medicare, it's a good idea to have Original Medicare. It gives you coverage for doctor office visits and hospital stays. But if you want even more benefits, you can choose a Medicare Advantage plan, like the ones offered at Humana. Our plans combine Original Medicare with extra benefits in a single convenient plan with $0 or low monthly plan premiums. These plans could even include prescription drug coverage with $0 copays on hundreds of prescriptions. Plus, there's a cap on your out-of-pocket costs. Most plans include dental, vision, even hearing coverage. There are $0 copays for in-network preventive services and much more. Get the most from Medicare with a Humana Medicare Advantage plan. Call today to learn more. Remember, annual enrollment for Medicare Advantage plans ends December 7th. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
You didn't get where you are playing it safe. You seek opportunities others don't. Your growing ambition needs a partner built for growth. With Markham, now a part of CBiz, discover new ways to accelerate growth. From insights that drive the bottom line to technology that powers enterprises. Your relentless ambition deserves a relentless team. Welcome to the new CBiz.
With Car Gurus, you can buy or sell your car, in person or online. If only you could do things your way all the time. Wouldn't that be nice? Get it with Gurus.
This is the sound of the season's favorite gift. For a limited time, Omaha Steaks is offering the favorite gift package that includes our famous bacon-wrapped filet mignon, our delicious air-chilled chicken breast, burgers, franks, sides, and desserts, all for just $89.99. That's 64% off. Order now to include 4 more burgers free. This exclusive TV offer is our best of the season and won't last. Order today at omahasteaks.com/TV.
I love this.
Is there any way to get a better price on this?
Have you checked SingleCare? Before I pick up my prescription at the pharmacy, I always check the SingleCare price.
It's quick, easy, and totally free to use.
SingleCare can literally beat my insurance copay. Go to SingleCare.com and start saving today.
For holiday traditions, old and new. When you want gifts to express a lifetime of love, we've spent a lifetime crafting them. Harry and David, 90 years and still sharing.
Live picture of a rainy morning in New York City, 7:45, with forecasts for big rain for the parade in New York on Thursday. Let's hope that blows through. We'll see. Time for a look now at some of the other stories making headlines. The Biden administration is proposing Medicare and Medicaid cover obesity medications. The plan specifies the drugs would treat the disease of obesity and prevent its related conditions. That would sidestep legislation passed 20 years ago preventing Medicare from covering drugs intended for weight loss. Colleges and universities nationwide are slashing the number of available programs and majors, hitting rural students especially hard. The schools largely blaming financial issues for those cuts. Roughly 13 million would-be students live in higher education deserts where the nearest university is beyond a reasonable commute away. And investor Warren Buffett just donated more than $1.1 billion of Berkshire Hathaway stock to 4 of his family's foundations. The 94-year-old has said his 3 children will distribute his remaining $147 billion fortune in the 10 years after his death. Buffett has long said he has no interest in preserving a family fortune. According to the AP, if Buffett and his first wife had never given away any of their Berkshire shares, the family's fortune would be nearly $364 billion, easily making him the world's richest man. Still ahead here on Morning Joe, Elon Musk is turning his political attention to the UK with strong criticism of the Prime Minister there. NBC's Matt Bradley will break down the brewing feud and the impact it could have on the US-UK relationship during the next Trump administration. Morning Joe's coming right back.
This holiday, think about a gift from Nuts.com. It's much more than a gift box. It's a night in with friends. Celebrate in more ways than one. With 20% off and free shipping on your first order. Order from Nuts.com today.
Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Visit consumercellular.com today.
Do you have high blood pressure? If so, you're at greater risk of developing AFib, one of the leading causes of stroke. Detect AFib with KardiaMobile, the world's most clinically validated personal EKG. With KardiaMobile, you can take a medical-grade EKG in just 30 seconds from anywhere, and it's proven to detect 3 of the most common arrhythmias.
Yeah, before I had Kardia, I didn't know what my heart was doing, and now I do. It gives me great peace of mind.
It's in my pocket all the time. It goes where I go. I never am away from it.
It's like a virtual cardiologist. You can pull out the device, check your heart rhythm, and instantly know whether or not you're in atrial fibrillation.
To have that device so handy and be able to use it immediately, that's just very comforting to know.
Get KardiaMobile today for just $79. And check out our Black Friday deals, which are here now at Kardia.com or Amazon. Don't wait, these offers won't last.
It's a good day to start something new. To brush away gray in 5 easy minutes. To put yourself out there and always put your best face forward. Just for men, mustache, and beard.
Revival Rugs. Moving with you. Take up to 30% off the entire site through December 3rd.
They get it. They know how it works. And most importantly, it works for them.
I don't have any anxiety about money anymore.
I don't have to worry about a mortgage payment every month.
It allowed me to live in my home and not have to pay payments.
If you're 62 or older and own your home, you could access a portion of your equity to improve your lifestyle. A reverse mortgage loan can eliminate your monthly mortgage payments and put tax-free cash in your pocket.
It was the best thing I've ever done. And
Really?
Yes, without a doubt.
These folks know. Finance of America can show you how a reverse mortgage loan uses your built-up home equity to give you tax-free cash.
It's a good thing.
So look, why don't you get the facts like these folks did and see if a reverse mortgage could work for you?
Call Finance of America and get your free info kit.
Call 800-963-9445.
And Doug.
Whoa, we moved. We're in a parade. Everyone, customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Customize and save.
And then I wake up.
And you have this dream every night?
Yeah, every night.
I see.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I finally got the Viral Bra from Honeylove.
It is crazy that you can get this much support from a bra that has absolutely zero underwire. It's totally invisible, even under the tightest tops.
I finally found an underwire-free bra that's actually comfortable. No back fat, no spillage, and doesn't cut into me.
It doesn't stretch, doesn't sag. The quality is phenomenal.
Honeylove has a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Shop our sale now at honeylove.com.
Your loved ones are getting older, and they need your support. Care.com is here to help. It's an easy way to find background-checked senior caregivers in your area and some peace of mind. See why millions of families have trusted Care. Go to Care.com now.
Guys, reach peak performance through Ro. With access to prescription medications uniquely designed to suit your needs. We got you. Connect with a provider at ro.co/peak.
Welcome back. Our next guests are two New York Times bestselling authors with two beloved detective characters who are both embarking on new adventures and two brand new books. I know that's a little hard to follow, but here they are. Authors James Patterson and Mike Lupica. Patterson's new book is titled The House of Cross. It's the 33rd installment in the legendary Alex Cross series, while Lupica's book is titled Robert B. Parker's Hot Property. It's the latest in the Spencer detective series, which was first started, of course, by Mike's good friend, the late Robert B. Parker. So, Mike and James, you guys have published 4 books.
I have my Vanderbilt hat on today, by the way. Oh. Since Joe isn't there, and since Vanderbilt beat Alabama.
It's a safe space to go Vanderbilt.
Every 20 years.
It's a safe space to go
Aldous Hodge has become a great character, and all I can tell you about the new Cross novel is Jim has decided to kill some judges, Jonathan. The judges are dropping like flies at the beginning of this book.
All right, all right. One of the weird things is, way back when, Parker won Best Novel, and I won Best First Novel the same day, which was kind of weird. This is for the Edgar Awards, and that's when I met Parker, and I forgot the name of the character. I'd read all the books, and he said, "Spencer, like the poet kid." So that was my initial thing with Parker. But the thing about Hot Property, Mike's book, is after Parker died, for a couple of books, I stopped reading the Spencer books, and I loved them. I'd read all of them. And then when Mike came back, he has the voice. He has the dialogue is right now. And that was the hallmark of Parker's writing. Dialogue was just spectacularly good, funny, and whatever. And the new book, it's got all your favorites. So Susan Silverman, his love of his life is there. It's a terrific book. I love it.
All right. Well, you guys are certainly doing a good job selling each other's books, which I have right here, we should note. But now the question is, you guys have teamed up so much. Mike, are you guys working on another new one together?
Another 2 of them, actually.
John, we've had 2 Jane Smith books about this feisty, incredible lawyer. And the third one, called Never Say Die, will come out next summer. Renee Zellweger is already signed up with HBO Max to play Jane Smith on television. And because we never close, we also have a book that's already ready for 2026. And John, I'm just working like this because I'm constantly fearful that he'll just take on artificial intelligence as a co-writer, and it'll just say Patterson and AI on the cover. And so that's why I'm like a hamster on a wheel working with this guy.
Fear is a good motivation. They are the 2 of the most productive people in the business. So again, James's new book, The House of Cross, on sale now. And Mike's new book, Robert B. Parker's Hot Property, also the same. New York Times bestselling authors James Patterson, Mike Lupica. Thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Always fun to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right, still ahead here on Morning Joe. We'll explore Jonathan Chait's new Atlantic piece on who he thinks is Trump's most dangerous cabinet nomination. Plus, it's one of the biggest video games of all time, but it almost never happened. We'll take a look at a new docu-series about the Madden video game franchise and hear the never-before-told story of how it became a worldwide phenomenon. Morning Joe will be right back.
Make this Christmas the year you go all in on joy. At Balsam Hill, celebrate with one of our beautifully crafted lifelike trees. For a limited time during our Black Friday sale, save up to 50% off plus free shipping. And start making memories at balsamhill.com.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salonpas. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
It's really important to have really good gut health. With AG1, I don't feel bloated.
That was actually the first change I noticed. I immediately started feeling my gut being better.
I've definitely been as regular as could be.
I drink my AG1 and I have a good bowel movement.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now I have Skyrizi.
I've got places to go and I'm feeling free. Controlling my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
And now I'm back in the picture. Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi helped visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And with Skyrizi, many were in remission at 12 weeks, at 1 year, and even at 2 years.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's.
Now's the time to take control of your Crohn's. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Hey, grab more delectables. You know, that lickable cat treat.
Delickable delectables.
Yes. Just hurry.
Must be delicious.
Delectables, lickable treat.
Deliciously delectable delectables.
How easy is it to play the lottery with Jackpocket? Step 1, grab your phone. Step 2, download Jackpocket and start ordering tickets for your favorite state lottery games. Step 3, let the good times roll. Jackpocket is so easy to use from home or on the go. And there have been over $500 million in total prizes won. So now, the easiest way to enjoy the lottery is right in your pocket. Jackpocket. Download America's #1 lottery app today.
Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Visit consumercellular.com today.
When your leader is asked for cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened? Happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything. Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
As a cardiologist, when I put my patients on a statin to reduce cholesterol, I also tell them it can deplete their CoQ10 levels. I recommend taking Cunol CoQ10. Cunol has 3 times better absorption than regular CoQ10. Cunol, the brand I trust.
The Daymaker pant by Public Rec. More comfortable than jeans, more stylish than sweats. With the Daymakers, you can choose your waist and length sizes to guarantee a perfect fit. Now comfort looks good.
Want the effects of Viagra, but faster? Meet Roe Sparks. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, but Sparks dissolve under the tongue. Dissolvables work faster than old school pills. Connect with a medical provider at ro.co/sparks.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" And then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
At Public Rec, we develop premium performance fabrics that are built to last and hard to live without. Our Daymaker pants, with their various sizing options, are designed to fit your life's moments. More comfortable than jeans, more stylish than sweats.